Okay, so I sort of made a bit of a mistake when I first started this, when I said that I was going to do 365 videos, blah blah blah, all that jazz, which you know if you saw my first video, and even if you didn't, you probably do know that that was a bit of an erroneous statement. At the time that I did the first video, I had forgotten that this is a leap year. So 365 would be more like 366 if I want to be technical. But I've decided that I am going to use today as a bit of a bridger, I guess. And real quick, you might notice that I'm walking around and the lighting's changing. That's because I have found out that I tend to prefer to be moving as I do stuff. And, well, it's really freaking hot outside, so I'm not going to be able to do like I had originally intended, and as I started doing, which was to be, doing the video as I take my dog out on a walk, so you have these moments where it gets really dark, and just like that. And it is something that I am going to be working on changing. It's actually something that I've already started changing today, in that I've been looking into various video editing software and stuff like that. And although I know that while I know a little about a lot of things, I know very little about those lots of things. And I know that I know little. So I know that there's a lot more work, a lot more research, a lot more practice that I need to be getting through before I can do anything that's really up to what I would like to be at. So, as you can tell, once again, rough as Hitler's toilet paper. But that will be changing since I actually am, taking steps forward, as you have noticed, because I am walking. That aside, that was a real big tangent. So, what I was going to say is I'm not really going to be doing a fact today, because I am kind of rethinking how I'm going to be doing all of this stuff as I readjust, because my arm's getting tired. So, I'm going to talk about something that I had been intending to address better the first time I did the video, and something I've been intending to address specifically on Facebook in response to Katie's comment that she made about MEAs, which, if you don't remember or if you didn't see, stands for Minimum Enjoyable Activity, which, as she had said, is kind of an excuse to be lame. And when I first heard of MEAs, I thought, yeah, this is kind of lame. Just doing 2 push-ups, if I can use the same example I used, I think, in the first video, that could be pretty lame. And, I'm going to stop walking in circles so it doesn't get so dark. So I'll be more pacey, I guess. But anyway, so when I get closer with this video editing stuff, these won't be so long. They won't be so stream of consciousy. Also might not be quite as fun, although these may not be fun as it is. Anyway, so what I will be saying about MEAs, as I was saying before, is this, that while, yeah, they can be sort of lame, and that certainly was what I thought at first, as I had just said before I interrupted myself, they're also not really lame, in the fact that you're doing something. Because I kind of feel like if there's something that you're wanting to do, like in this case with me, I want to spread knowledge and, that sort of thing. The lame thing would be for me to continue to have these really highfalutin goals in which I have these sort of perfect videos, like Vsauce, which is partially my inspiration for doing these, also SciShow, also It's Okay to Be Smart, and Veritasium. I friggin' love those shows. So friggin' much you don't even know. I've probably seen those videos. I've rewatched those videos probably as much as I've rewatched Star Trek series, the various Star Trek series, or as I have reread the Harry Potter series. Because I am the coolest person you will ever know. That being said, so MEAs, that's what I was talking about, right? Yeah, MEAs. The really lame thing would be to continue to do nothing, like I have been doing for a very long time. Lots and lots of nothing. It was fantastic in that it was horrible. Yeah, and I kind of feel like even though the idea of doing something is better than nothing does kind of take away the lameness factor, I feel like what takes away the lameness factor even more is the fact that the idea behind MEAs is kind of universally supported by, well, every therapist I've ever had, which is a lot. And also every sociologist, every self-help guru, pretty much any time I've read anything about getting better at doing something, be that fitness or nutrition or music, just to name a few of the things that I tend to look into, they all say start at the beginning, which is what MEAs are essentially doing. Start with what you can do, as opposed to starting with, well, obviously the opposite would be what you can't do, to continue the exercise metaphor that I'd used at the very beginning. Using MEAs is kind of like, say you were morbidly obese, or rather, instead of you, I will say I. If I were to be morbidly obese, would it be lame of me to start my path to fitness by walking around the blocks a few times? Or should I, in an attempt to avoid being lame, start off right off the bat by trying to run a 10-minute mile once a day, every day? I feel like even though saying, hey, walk twice around the block might be kind of a lame goal for people who are of average fitness, if I were morbidly obese, that could be almost impossible. So the idea of doing something more than you're ready for, because it might be lame to not do those things and to start where you're ready, I feel like that's not really something that should be counted as being lame. The lame thing would be to shoot for running a 10-minute mile when you are 150 plus pounds overweight, beating yourself up for it when you fail, as you will, and then just doing nothing. Because that's essentially what I've been doing with my life. Because I haven't been wanting to be lame and start off where I know that I'm ready for, and I've been wanting to start off where I think I should be. And as a result, I've done a whole lot of nothing. Like, I've done so much nothing, it's almost something. That's how much nothing I have been doing. So, I had somewhere that I was going with that, and it's probably that corner over there, since I've been pacing back and forth. That being said, one thing that I did realize that I had, I don't want to say misconstrued about MEAs, but that I had forgotten about, or possibly purposefully at the time forgotten about with the MEAs, is something that could be construed as being an excuse for being lame, in that when you have your MEA chosen, like say for example, my decision to do one video a day of one fact, or as my other example had been of doing 2 push-ups at one point in the day. The sort of official standpoint on the MEA stuff that I'd read had been saying things about how even if you do those 2 push-ups and you're thinking, hey, I did 2 push-ups, I could do 2 more, they urge you not to do 2 more. They urge you to just do those 2. Call it a day. And I can see how that could be considered as an excuse for being lame. But I also kind of feel like it is prudent, because I have learned, and this is kind of a fact, kind of something that I've just read, which may not be substantiated anywhere aside from self-help guides, especially online self-help guides, as they have generally been for me. But willpower actually is a finite resource, but it is also a resource which you can expand, that you can grow. The more that you use your willpower, the more that you will be able to use your willpower. But unless you start, where you can start, you will not get very far. And, excuse me, I need to stop smoking. Anyway, willpower, what was I saying? Totally lost track. Very sorry about this. When I get my video editing stuff down, this probably won't be a problem, because I'll be able to edit this out. But right now, I'm just doing this on my phone, and I can't really edit. Well, maybe I could, but I'm going with what I'm able to do at the moment. With willpower, of course, being something that is finite, something that is a resource that can be completely drained, I do understand how it can be prudent. That was what I was talking about. It can be prudent to just do the minimum of what you are able to do, because that way you don't burn out, like after the first day, the first week, because I was actually in danger of burning out by the 3rd day of doing these things, and that's just ridiculous. It can be lame, I guess you could also say, because just doing, one small, quick clip of me talking to the camera of a fact or whatever, and so it's kind of ridiculous that I would be like saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this already. But here is the, good news with the MEAs, that apparently they kind of work. As I had mentioned in a Facebook description of my post, that I had done twice as much as I had expected to do when I had reached the 2nd day. That's actually a bit of a lie, because the fact that I did anything is way more than I expected I could ever do, because I am very bad at doing things. I get these ideas to do something, and then I do nothing. Yeah, so, MEAs could be lame. As I was saying, I can understand that. I just don't think they actually are when you take the time to think about what it really means, in that you are actively trying to do better. And that can't be lame. I mean, no matter how small the act is, no matter how ridiculously insufficient it might seem to other people, it can't be lame. It can't. Because you're trying. You're realizing that you want something better for yourself. And you are realizing where you are in your life at that moment. And you know that it's better to do than to not do. And as I'm saying this, it sounds very, duh to me. But apparently that needs to be said. I mean, not for the sake of you, Katie, who this was originally addressed to, but I forgot about until just this point. But to everyone, to me, I mean, that was my thought at first as well, that it's lame to just do 2 push-ups. I mean, but that's the thing. When you are doing your MEAs, when you're picking out an MEA to do, you're thinking, well, all I have to do is 2 push-ups. And how hard is that really? How hard can it be to do 2 push-ups? So when you have a goal that is so extraordinarily low, it makes it so much easier to attain. Which, I mean, when you attain a goal, you feel good about yourself. You feel good about what you're doing. You feel good about the path that you're on. And you do more. I mean, that's what's happened to me these past, this is the 5th day, I believe. Even on, like I said, on my 2nd day, I felt like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is horrible. This is so much stuff. I mean, you may not think this is a whole lot to do, but you don't have my context. So call me lame if you will. I think of myself as lame, but that's, you know, that's me. So yeah, I'm not going to judge someone who can't do 2 push-ups if they physically are unable to do 2 push-ups. So don't judge me if I have felt in the past like I have been physically unable to do a 2-minute video. And this is, 16 minutes and 37, 38, 39. This is a lot longer than I expected this to get to. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not really sorry, because this is progress! And that's what I'm looking for. I am doing this for you people watching, but I'm also doing this for myself. Which is why I'm being very candid about my perceived shortcomings and my actual shortcomings, because what I'd like to do and what I will be doing from here on out more, as opposed to what I was doing before, or what I said I was to be doing before, that I will be doing this now, from this point, more as a journal, as an actual vlog, to, you know, be e-savvy, and sort of document my attempts at not failing at life so much. And like I said in my very first video, hopefully, if you watch these, if anyone watches these, it'll help you guys if you watch this. You might see how very eccentric I can be. I know I can be a weirdo. And you might watch these videos and say, hey, that guy is doing something. He's making progress. I can make progress. That's going to be my main focus from now on. Hopefully, as I get better, you get better. And hopefully I actually get better. Because to be honest, I am questioning that, because I question a lot of things. Oh my goodness. And this has almost been 20 minutes of me pacing, talking at my phone. If I had been out taking my dog for a walk, I probably would have looked like a lunatic to so many people. And was I just choking myself? What was with that? Yeah, so I should probably stop talking now. I've said the things I wanted to say, and just because I really do like the idea of giving a fact a day, this isn't going to be really a fact so much as, well, a fact, yes, but I have not researched this, I have not checked it, sourced it in at least 10 years. This is something that I remember reading a long time ago, and which came to mind last night because I was watching Jupiter Ascending, starring Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis, Meg from Family Guy. One thing, tangent, Zeke Heil, no, Bad Michael. She fell a lot, and for extended periods of time. And when she did, she wasn't shrieking. She was screaming, but she wasn't shrieking. And that seemed pointed to me. One, because I watch Family Guy, and I know that she has been asked to, or she has just naturally shrieked when having been asked to scream, but instead of doing that high pitch, like, ah, which I could do a bit better than that, but I won't because I don't want to, destroy earbuds, eardrums. I can talk. But she didn't do that high-pitched shriek of death. She did a very chest-supported, a diaphragm-supported sort of a scream as opposed to the shriek, which kind of gave her more of a strengthened background, I guess you could say. Because from the way that it tends to be that women and girly guys, what have you, are portrayed in the media, is that they shriek. They don't scream, they shriek. She didn't shriek as she was, falling 20-some stories down. She didn't shriek. She screamed. She just seemed like a much stronger character for that, which was not my point, because I was going to say a fact about Channing Tatum, which possibly, I actually don't know if this was a thing in the movie, but he was like part wolf or something like that. I don't know. So it might have been like prosthetics. I might have been making it up in my mind as I saw it, but it had seemed like his eye teeth or canine teeth, on the side that aren't your incisors or the ones right outside from there, but the ones past that seem to be longer than you might usually expect, giving him sort of a fanged quality. That could be the way his teeth actually are, or like I said, that could just have been me, putting that onto it. But in any case, the fact, I was going to say, kind of fact, is that the length of your canine teeth is actually influenced by your testosterone levels. So it's almost like a secondary sex characteristic, the length of your canine teeth. And apparently this is international sign language for canine teeth. No, that's lesbian? No, that's lesbian. What was that? I can't remember. It's been years since I've done sign language. Not to imply that I've actually done sign language, but, it's one of those many things I looked into. But this has now been over 20 minutes, and I'm going to stop. So, bye.